question is, do you burn more fat, and does it help with your overall fitness regimen?
Hi, I'm Labrada of Labrada Nutrition, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Dr. Dan Gardney.
Hi, Lee.
Welcome, Dan. And today we are going to be talking about cardiovascular exercise, otherwise known as cardio to everyone. And Dan, I got to tell you that there's just so much information out there about how to do cardio. Which way is best? You know, long, slow distance, high intensity cardio. Let's talk a little bit about that. And then let's also look at what form is best for burning fat and just achieving general levels of fitness.
Excellent question. And again, too, there is some confusion because the term is so generally used. Mm-hmm. If you remember, cardiovascular training was for heart health. And that was taken to really increase both the efficiency and the force of your heart, your vascular system, predominantly done to help people prevent heart disease further on. When we talk about cardio in the gym, we're talking about fat loss, we're talking about calorie burning, two different animals. So I'm going to look at cardio as the term is used in the gym.
Okay, to burn fat.
To burn fat primarily. Now, there is still obviously cardiopulmonary benefit. You still condition your heart and your lungs to that type of training. Mm-hmm. But we aren't going to look at the cardiovascular component of it. When you do cardio for calorie burning, there's two basic styles that are competing right now for dominance. One is called HIIT, which stands for high intensity interval training. And that's basically doing small bursts of high intensity training or near your maximal effort until you almost exhaust, doing a recovery period and repeating. It's kind of a lather, rinse, repeat sort of thing, like shampoo. That can go on for 20, 30, 40 minutes, depending upon the ability of the person and the length of the recovery versus the effort. That works very, very well for conditioning for that style of training. That works very, very well for getting a higher calorie burning during the period of training. What the question is, do you burn more fat? And does it help with your overall fitness regimen? Mm-hmm. Now, many people will do cardio exclusively. There's some people that don't like to get into the weight portion of the gym.
Right.
And for them, a HIIT style training works very, very well. It's a lot more interesting. They've actually looked even at elementary school age children and having them perform little HIIT intervals during their classes or between classes, and these kids stayed more focused.
It's not as monotonous.
It's not as monotonous, it's fun, and you get excited, you get stimulated. Now, contrast that to steady state cardio, which people think of plodding on the treadmill like a gopher in a cage and one of those little rolling wheels.
Slow
I hate that. For me, it's a torture. It's a mental torture.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on it either.
No, for myself and my wife, our cardio style is more kind of a steady state style, but we prefer greatly to go outdoors. Mm-hmm. When you go outdoors, not only are you getting the effect of the sunshine, the companionship of my spouse, but you also get uneven terrain. We find some hilly or incline areas when we can. Mm-hmm. And you just get to enjoy interacting with the environment, with nature. You get to see your friends, your neighbors on the trail.
And you're getting your cardio in.
Exactly. Now, what are we losing or gaining by doing a steady state style of cardio versus the HIIT style of the cardio? Mm-hmm. If you remember, if I said earlier, if that is your priority or that is your exclusive training component is to do cardio, HIIT really has a lot of advantages to speak for it. And a lot of people really get into it. And there's almost an addiction, kind of a runner's high that comes with HIIT cardio. With steady state cardio, you actually burn fewer calories because you're not hitting high intensity periods.
Right.
You're staying kind of slow and steady wins the race, the tortoise versus the hare.
Right.
But what is really good about that in terms of fat loss is that the more your intensity is kept underneath your aerobic threshold, or sometimes it's called a lactate threshold, where lactic acid builds up.
Right.
And so you've been on the treadmill and you get it up to about 9, 10, 11 miles an hour, and all of a sudden your legs are burning after about 30, 40 seconds.
That's your lactic threshold.
You're hitting lactic acid because you needed energy faster than you can get it aerobically.
Right.
Okay, when you stay under that aerobic threshold, the majority of the calories you burn, even though they're not as many, come from fat as opposed to the stored sugar in your muscles. Mm-hmm. So you are burning probably pretty close to the same number of fat calories during the exercise. You're not burning the same number of total calories.
Right.
But Dan, you say, I want to burn calories to lose fat, right? Of course you do. But if you basically blow your energy on your cardio portion of your training. And then, really, it's good that person to move every day. You may not need to be on the treadmill, may not be on the trail, but you do something for 30 minutes every day. And that could be something recreational. You can go ice skating if that's something you have available, rollerblading. You can go cycling on the trails with your mountain bike. You can just do a little bit of gardening and yard work as long as you're vigorously moving. Every day you should be doing something, but preferentially you'll be doing 3, 4, 5 days a week, something scheduled and structured like trail walking, trail hiking, or treadmilling, or bicycle, stationary bike. So we get that in, but I have not fatigued and exhausted myself mentally or physically using the stored glycogen in my muscles so much, so that when I use that energy for my resistance training portion, it's there and it's available. Because my goal personally is using cardio to complement
your weight training.
My weight training.
Okay. So if I'm a bodybuilder, if I'm hearing you right, then we're going to use the weight training to stimulate the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course, it has
and you're burning calories from that
profound effects on the metabolism, as we know. And then you're going to supplement it, if I'm hearing you correctly, with the longer steady state cardio to burn the fat, correct?
Right. Because think about what resistance training is. Resistance training really mimics high-intensity interval training.
Right, it's similar.
You're doing 30 seconds of a exercise, you're taking a 60 to 90-second break.
Right. Now, I'm going to digress just a little bit, but I want our viewers to get this straight from a medical doctor that is steeped in the area of exercise science. Are bodybuilders cardiovascularly fit if they're not doing cardio? So in other words, if you are just doing exclusively weight training and you're moving at a pretty good clip, are you fit from a cardiovascular standpoint, or do you need cardio exercise also?
As long as you are in continuous activity. You've seen the bodybuilder who's more like a power lifter or a
set,
couch potato.
Wait 2-3 minutes, do another set.
It's 5 or 10 minutes,
right.
Or they have a conversation about the game that lasts as long as the game that happened the night before their next set. But let's say you're a dedicated bodybuilder who is training as you would be for effective
45 seconds to a minute rest in between sets.
Or even you're alternating sets where you're doing a primary muscle and an alternating muscle, or sit-ups or something in between. You are moving at a rate that will provide cardiovascular benefit. Mm-hmm. Is it providing the same cardiovascular benefit from true cardio in either form of a steady state or a HIIT aerobic exercise? No, you're not getting the same effect, but you're getting a benefit. So you're doing better than the guy who does nothing. You're not getting as good as the people that do that. You're getting some crossover benefit. Now, the problem with resistance training as being your only cardiovascular training is there's a lot of hypertensive, or your really blood pressure lifting, raising movements in weight training. Mm-hmm. So it's good for the sake of your cardiovascular tree to include some cardio in there. And again, too, that's when you do the slow, steady state, that really kind of keeps it from becoming a hypertensive or high blood pressure raising event.
Dan, thank you for going into that level of detail. I know that's very interesting for me to know what's going on in my body, both when I'm weight training and when I'm doing cardio. And as you can see, you need both. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll join us for more, and I hope that you will check out our website at labrada.com and sign up for our free newsletter. We've got a newsletter that we send out every week to over 100,000 fitness enthusiasts who are using it to learn about training, nutrition, motivation, you name it. So we hope that you will join us there. Thank you for watching. I'm Lee Labrada.